No mud. He laughed.
And no one firing at you. We should be safe as houses soon.
That's good to hear. But I knew he was lying. It was a game all of us played, pretending that German U-boats weren't a constant threat. Even hospital ships like Britannic were not safe from them, despite our white paint and great red crosses. They were said to believe that we hid fresh troops among the wounded or stowed munitions in the hold amongst the medical supplies. There was no truth to their suspicions, of course, and this channel was well-travelled, always a temptation. For that matter, mines paid no heed to the nationality or purpose of the hull above them when a vessel sailed too near. You couldn't dwell on it or you'd live in fear. He moved on, overseeing the change of the watch, and I capped my pen. There was something about his laugh that reminded me of Arthur Graham. When it caught me unawares, as it had done just now, the gates of memory opened, and Arthur's face would come back to me. During training, we'd been warned about letting ourselves care too much for our patients. They are yours to comfort, yours to heal, but not yours to dream about, Matron had told us firmly. Only foolish girls let themselves be drawn into romantic imaginings. See that you are not one of them. Good advice, but Matron hadn't foreseen Arthur Graham. He'd been popular with the other wounded, the medical orderlies, and the nursing staff. It was impossible not to like him, and liking him, it was impossible not to feel something for him as he fought a gallant but losing battle with death. I wasn't foolish enough to believe it was love, but I was honest enough to admit I cared more than I should. I'd watched so many wounded die. Perhaps that was why I desperately wanted to see this one man snatch a victory out of defeat and restore my faith in the goodness of God. But it wasn't to be. And truth be told, I had more than one reason for remembering Arthur Graham and his laugh. There was a promise I'd made, freely. If you gave your word so freely, my conscience argued, then why have you never kept your promise? There's been no opportunity. I said the words aloud, then, in embarrassment, turned to see if anyone had overheard me. Liar. You never made the time. It isn't true. You travelled through Kent on your last leave. You could have kept it then. I resolutely uncapped my pen and tried to distract myself with my letter. The seagull returned to keep me company. There's a cheeky seagull on the railing every morning. I've christened him Baba, for the man who sat outside our gate in Agra and examined the goods the merchants brought to the house. Afterward he'd come round to the back garden and talk cook into giving him. The gull flew up just as there was a deafening explosion, and the ship seemed to rock on her spine. The deck lurched where I was sitting, pen and paper flying from my lap. It was all so unexpected that I was thrown out of my chair as it too went over. I struck the bulkhead with such force that I rebounded hard against the stairs just behind me. My right arm took the brunt of that, and pain shot up to my shoulder. I cried out in alarm, trying to scramble to my feet. The explosion had left me stunned. I could hear the shouts and screams all around me, but they seemed to come from a great distance. And then I was standing upright, holding onto the stairs with my left hand. My hearing gradually returned, and I forced myself to think clearly, to remember all those drills we'd attended again and again, and sometimes laughed about over tea. My lifebelt. It was in my cabin. I had forgot to bring it on deck with me. A rating ran by, stopping every few feet to look over the railing. "What is it?" I called to the young seaman. "What's happened?" He didn't answer, his attention on the ship's waterline, but I really didn't need to hear it from him. A submarine had found us and torpedoed us somewhere near the bow. It was the only explanation. Was there a second torpedo already on its way? There was no time to stand and speculate. Still dazed, I stumbled through the nearest sea door and went toward my cabin for my lifebelt. The dark-haired Irish nurse, Eileen, came running toward me in the passage, crashing into me as if she hadn't seen me at all. It jarred my arm and I smothered a cry. I tried to steady her, but she shook her head and ran on, disoriented and badly frightened. I came to the next set of stairs, and it struck me suddenly that all this elegance surrounding us, elegance intended for happier voyages, for travellers dancing the night away without a care in the world, might wind up at the bottom of the sea. Like Titanic. Or, for that matter, Lusitania. No, that mustn't happen here. This great ocean liner would survive. As the general alarm was being sounded, the orderlies were collecting under the Major's sharp eye.